Hello, I am Devereaux, and welcome to Dissecting God's Word. Now today we're studying about the curse, and a lot of you have already learned in a previous lesson that God gave Adam dominion over the earth, but he gave that dominion to Satan when he disobeyed God, which made Satan the god of this world. And then that's when Satan cursed the earth. And sickness is a part of that curse. Now in Luke chapter 4, verse 5 and 6, that verifies the fact that Satan owns the kingdoms of this world, and he offered them to Jesus. You see, when Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist, he went to the wilderness to fast. He fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. And that's when Satan came and tried to tempt him into worshiping him. And one of the things Satan offered him was the kingdoms of the world. Now I will read verse 5 and 6, and it will show you that the world was delivered to Satan. Now verse 5, it says, "And the devil, taking him up into a high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. And the devil said unto him, All this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, and whosoever I will, I give it." Now, turn to Galatians chapter 3, verse 13. And we will see what Jesus did about the curse. Now it says in the 13th verse, "Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. For it is written, Cursed is every one that hangs on a tree." Now, the curse that Jesus redeemed us from is found in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. Now Deuteronomy is called the book of the law. And before the Israelites entered the promised land, Moses had to read them the law so that they would know about the blessings and the cursings and how God wanted them to live their life so they would be blessed. So I'm going to read you the 15th verse, and it says, "I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and cursings. Therefore choose life, that thou and thy seed may live." Now you may ask, why does God have to tell them to choose life? Well, it's for the same reason you choose to live the way you do. I mean, think about it. You choose not to study God's Word. You choose not to believe God's Word when it comes to being sick or poor. And you are poisoning your body every day by your lifestyle. So I ask you, are you choosing life? You know, when a baby is born, the body is programmed to self-destruct. And it will crave and want everything that is not good for it. And you feed it everything you can and everything that it desires and craves. And 90% of everything you eat is not good for you. And you just slowly deteriorate. Now I ask you, are you choosing life? Well, anyway, the 28th chapter of Deuteronomy, and starting at the 15th verse, you will find the beginning of the curses. So I'm going to read the 15th verse for you, and it says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord, command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." So, from the 15th verse to the 68th verse are the curses. And they cover everything from sickness, disease, and poverty. and you should read it, because this is what's going on in a lot of countries. But we are talking about the part about sickness. Now I want you to focus on verse 61 and chapter 28, which I will read for you. And it says, also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of the law, them will the Lord bring upon thee, until thou be destroyed. Now when you do a word study in the Greek and Hebrew concordance, you will see that God allows these things to happen. He's not the one putting the curse on you. That is why Jesus came and redeemed us from the curse. Now it says every sickness that is not written in the book of the law. Now that means the sicknesses in the future, like in our day, with all these new diseases that didn't exist back then. So when Jesus came, he showed us how he felt about sickness and disease, because he healed just about everybody that came to him. So I'm going to read you some scriptures that will show you Jesus in action. Now Matthew 4:28, it says, and Jesus went about all Galilee, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing all manner of sickness and all manner of disease among the people. In Matthew 8:17, it says, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken of by Isaiah the prophet, saying, himself took our infirmities and bore our sicknesses. Matthew 9:35. And Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. Now, that is the attitude that Jesus had about sickness. He healed everybody. And there are a lot more scriptures showing him healing people. Now, so what I've done in this lesson is to give you an idea about why there's so much sickness in the world. And it would be a good idea to study the 28th chapter of Deuteronomy so you can see what the blessings and curses are all about. And if you have not listened to my teachings on why God allows evil, then you should listen to it. And anyway, God has made provisions for you to live a good life because of what Jesus did on the cross. So I'm going to end this lesson with a poem I wrote called Sickness and Disease. Sickness and disease and poverty, those three things are not for me. Jesus was rich but made poor down here, so we could be rich like he was up there. But so many people just can't see. They think being poor is the way to be. Now I want you to listen to me. Turn to Galatians chapter 3. For Christ has redeemed us from the curse. You can see it for yourself in the 13th verse. Now in Deuteronomy 28:15, you will see the curse, and you will see what I mean. You will see you won't prosper in your ways, and you will be oppressed all your days. For Christ gave life to us more abundantly. So why do you reject it constantly? He did more on Calvary than just save us from sins and set us free. Well, now this is Devereaux, and I wish you a blessed day, a happy life, and be healthy, wealthy, and wise. I thank you. Bye-bye.